we are right. When we are multiplying the same base, we add the exponent, and I'm gonna share with you here. Just let me know as soon as you guys are able to see the screen. Okay. Okay, is it visible? Okay. Okay, can you mute your mic? Okay, guys, ensure that your mic is muted all the times, ne? Unless if you have to say something. That's the only time you're going to unmute. Okay. Because if I mute you, that's 2 weeks. Yeah. From my side, then that means more. Okay. Mute your mic. Whoever is having their mic unmuted. Okay, so these are the laws of exponents. Obuhle, you said you don't know them. So the laws of exponents, there we have them. There are 4, and then the first law says a to the power of m multiplied by a to the power of n is equal to a to the power of m plus. Basically, what they're saying here. Guys, make sure that your mic is muted. No, okay, let me mute you all. No, okay. Okay, are you guys able to see? Oh no, yes you are. Okay, cool. The laws of exponent, we have law 1, which says okuthle a to the power of m multiplied by a to the power of n is equal to a to the power of m plus n. So let me just zoom this. So basically what they say, yeah,
Ma'am, the screen is not showing.
Oh, it's not. Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let me try to stop sharing and then I'll share again. Because said sharing the previous time. Okay. Screen. How about now? Is it fine? Okay, cool. Now we have the first law as I've indicated, which says Okutle, a to the power of m multiplied by a to the power of n is equals to a to the power
Ma'am, my screen is not showing.
What's not showing?
My screen.
Guys, are you not able to see the screen?
Yes.
No, ma'am.
Nobody's able to see. Is it showing now?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
cool. Thank you. The first law is that one, which I've been saying, that one, which also Busisiwe indicated that when you are multiplying the same base, you add the exponent. Only when you are multiplying the same bases, okay? So for example, if you are having, let me write my example here. If you're having a, okay, let's do x to the power of 2 multiplied by y to the power of 3. You are not going to add the exponent because what? Because wait. Yeah. Because the bases are not the same. You see, you have x and y, which are not the same. X is not the same as y, and y is not the same as x. So you're only going to apply it only when the bases are the same. So when you have the same basis and you are multiplying, then that means you're going to add the exponents. Do you guys get me?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. And these laws of exponents are going to make sense as we apply them on the question. So I want us, after doing the laws, to do to see how they did the example and then do an activity to show that we have an idea. And remember, you cannot grasp everything at one lesson. You need to do multiple times for you to understand it, right? And then the second law says a to the power of m divided by a to the power of n is equals to a to the power of n m minus n. Okay, so simply what's this saying? When you are dividing the same basis, you subtract the exponent, okay? When you are dividing the same basis, you minus the exponent. Do you see that? So you see, we are having a here as our what? As our base, and there's also a as our base. So we can just write it as just a, okay? And then the exponent for this one is m, and then we're going to minus this one, which is n, ne? Perfect. So for instance, if we had x to the power of 3 divided by x to the power of 4, that means we're going to have what? We're going to have x to the power of 3 minus 4. Minus 4. Ne? And then which is going to be x to the power of -1, which is the same as 1 divided by x. Okay, if you want to write it in a positive final answer. This is how you do it. But if you had something like that, x divided by y, let's say x to the power of 2 divided, you're not going to apply this rule or this law simply because you are not having the same basis. Are we all together?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. And law 3 says in brackets a to the power of m, close the bracket, to the power of n is the same as a to the power of m multiplied by n. So if you are having if you are having an expression in the brackets, maybe let's say x to the power of 2, close the bracket, and then you have 3 here. This simply means that the 2 is going to multiply with this one. So where there's bracket, it's multiplication. So that means between the 2 and the 3, there's multiplication. Remember, brackets in mathematics represent multiplication, okay? So that means this was going to be x to the power of 2 multiplied by that, which will be x to the power of 6. Ne? And let's move to law 4. Law 4 says in brackets, we have a dot b, which means a multiplied by b. So when you see that dot there in mathematics, we are multiplying a and b. Ne? And then both of them are in brackets, a multiplied by b and in brackets to the power of n. You can also write it as a to the power of n multiplied by b to the power of n, because this n that you're seeing here, the exponent that you're seeing here, is for a and it's for also b. Are you guys getting it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So the n that you're seeing when everything is in the bracket and then you have an exponent, and in the brackets you have different types of letters, maybe x, y, z. That means the exponent that you're seeing that's outside the bracket is for everything that's in the bracket. So that means each and every letter you're going to write that exponent. that n value, okay? And we have again here, it's a side note, they say a to the power of m divided by a to the power of n is equals to 1 divided by n minus 1 when m is less than n. So meaning that, I'm just going to zoom this. So when you are having something like this, remember it's same basis, but this exponent here is actually less than this one. You can also write it as 1 divided by a to the power of m minus n if they require you to write your final answer in a positive value. Are we all together?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Perfect. I'm just gonna wipe this so we can get into the example. And the first example they've given us here, let me just do this for you guys to see. The first example, they say simplify the following. We have 2x to the power of 5 multiplied by, open bracket, negative 3x to the power of 3 y, close bracket, squared. Okay, let's start with 2 to the power 2x to the power of this. So you see this 2x to the power of 5. Because the 2x is not in the brackets, that means the 5 that you're seeing here is for the x, okay? It's not for 2. If everything, no, the 2x was in brackets, that means it's the same as 2 to the power of 5 multiplied by x to the power of 5. Are we all together? But because it's 2x to the power of 5, there's no bracket, there's nothing. That means this is how it's like. You leave it like that. And I'm just gonna try and wipe these. And let's see. Okay, and then in the brackets, multiplied by, in the bracket, we have minus 3x to the power of 3, y to the power of 3. Okay, this one I'm gonna write it. Let me note it here. So we are having what? We are having in brackets minus 3x to the power of 3, y, close the bracket, and then we have the squared there. And I wanted a black, I just want this. And let's see. I just want to make sure you don't get confused. Okay, cool. So when it's like this, I mentioned that when everything is in the brackets and there's an exponent outside the bracket, so that means the 2 that you're seeing here is for everything that's in the bracket. Okay, the 2, that means there's a 2 here, there's multiplied by 2, and then there's a 2 here. Do you guys get it? So it's like negative 3 to the power of 2. And then what do we have? Multiplied by x to the power 3 multiplied by 2 and times y to the power of 2. Okay, so I'm saying 2 because now we are multiplying everything with 2. Remember, if it's just a number, that means, or if it's just a number or a letter, it means that thing is to the power of 1. So this is like the same as 1 multiplied by 2 and 1 multiplied by 2 here, which is 2. Hence I've written the 2. So it's like negative 3 to the power of 1 multiplied by 2 times x to the power of 3 multiplied by 2 times y to the power of 1 multiplied by 2. Because you see here, this is the law that we are applying here. So we are multiplying the exponent, which are 3 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Those are our m multiplied by n. Are we following? Still together?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. So now that I've done this, so remember everything is just now in the brackets, and then we have what? We have 2x to the power of 5 multiplied by, okay? So now it's going to be 2x multiplied by everything in here. So it's 2x to the power of 5 multiplied by, what is 3 minus 3? Minus 3 to the power of 2 is 9. 3 times 3 is 9. And then x, now we're going to have our x here. And then 3 multiplied by 2 is 6. Then we're going to have our 6 here. And then the y has the 2 because an exponent of 2 because it's 1 times 2. And then now we are multiplying 2x to the power of 5 multiplied by this. So when we are multiplying, remember, these are numbers, so we're going to start with the numbers. So 2 multiplied by 9 is equals to 18. And then the x multiplied by x, because we said when we are multiplying the same base, we add the exponent. So that means we have what? We have x, so it's 18x. Now, because we are adding the exponent, which is 5 and 6, that means our answer here is going to be 11. So 5 plus 6 is 11. So that means our x has an exponent of 11. And then we have a y. Because there's no y here, we just leave it like this. It doesn't have anyone that it can go. So this is how they got to the 18x to the power of 11, y to the power of 2. Do we have any question? Guys, do we have any question? Are we all good?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Sisiwe. Okay, let's now look at B. So our B here is in bracket, we have negative 2x, okay, negative 2xy to the power of 3, close bracket, and then we have to the power of 3. And let me just write this down. So we have minus 2x, y, 3. Do we have somebody who knows how we're going to unpack this one? How do we remove this 3 there? Excuse me. Guys, do you have somebody who knows how, or who have an idea how we're going to remove, to remove the 3 here? The 3 is the exponent. Guys, okay, remember guys, if you don't know how to do it, or if you don't have an idea, you can just say you don't know. It's absolutely okay, ne? Okay, I'll take it that you guys don't know how to do it. Okay, cool. I said that in the bracket we are having minus 2xy to the power of 3. To get rid of the 3, you have to multiply the exponent of everything in the bracket. So it's minus 2 to the power of 3 because there's nothing here. So that means we're going to write 3, okay? And then we have x, because there's nothing here, we're going to have it as 3 like that, because it's the same as 1 multiplied by 3, okay? And again, we have y to the power of 3, but because there's a 3, that means we're going to multiply. Because you remember the law number 3, the third law, said a to the power of m in brackets to the power of n is the same as a to the power of m multiplied by n. So this is our m and n, these ones. This is our m and n, multiplying together. Okay, now we have what? We have minus 2 to the power of 3. And minus 2 to the power of 3, I think it's going to be minus 8. Yeah, I think it's going to be minus 8 because 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8. Yeah. So it's going to be 8x to the power of 3. It's going to remain as 8x to the power of 3. And then the y has 9 because 3 times 3 is 9. So this is like 8x to the power of 3, y to the power of 9. Divided by, now what are we having? We are having 4x y to the power of 4 multiplied by 2x x to the power of 2 and y to the power of 5. So to simplify that one, 4x y to the power of 4, let me write it here, 4x y to the power of 4 multiplied by 2 x squared y to the power of 5. So we're going to simplify this one, which is the denominator. So 4 multiplied by 4 by 2 is 8, and x multiplied by x to the power of 2. So we're going to multiply those that have the same letters name. When you're multiplying the same base, you add the exponent. So because now we are multiplying x with x, that means we can just write x a1, and then we're going to add 1 plus 3. Sorry guys, 1 plus 2, which is equals to 3. Ne? And then again, we're going to multiply y to the power of 4 with a y to the power of 5. When you are multiplying the same base, you add the exponent. So y to the power of 4 multiplied by y to the power of 5 is the same as y to the power of 4 plus 5, because when you are multiplying the same base, you add the exponent. So it's going to be 4 plus 5. So that means we have 8x. We have 8x to the power of 3, y to the power of 9. Now we are having 8x to the power of 3, 8x to the power of 3. Okay, guys, I made a mistake here. We are having a negative here because now when you put negative 2 to the power of 3 on your calculator, you're going to get a negative, because negative 2 multiplied by negative 2 is going to be a positive 4. And then positive 4 multiplied by negative 2, now it's going to be minus that. Okay? And then that means now, what are we having? This is our denominator. And then we have y to the power of 9. So I'm just writing everything here. I'm just moving it here. Okay, so you see, you are having a minus 8x to the power of 3, and here you're having positive 8x to the power of 3, and then you're also having to the power of 9, y to the power of 9, and also y to the power of 9, meaning that what you're having as your denominator is also there on the numerator. Ne? So that means everything is going to cancel each other, but except for this one. So the y9 is going to cancel the y9. The x to the power of 3 is going to cancel that. 8 is going to cancel 8. Now we are left with negative. So that means the final answer is -1. Because remember, when you are dividing whatever with that very same whatever, you're going to get a 1. So what I'm trying to say, when you're dividing y with y, you get 1. When you're dividing 3 with 3, you get 1. When you're dividing a million with a million, you get 1. So when you are dividing the same thing exactly as it is, you will get 1, okay? For as long as there's no difference in anyhow. So if you divide x squared minus 1 divided by x squared minus 1, you're going to get 1, because what you get on the denominator is also there on the numerator. So this is how they got to their final answer of -1. Okay, guys, are you following?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, we are.
Okay. Cool. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Now let's look at C. So for C, they're saying minus 4x to the power of 2 multiplied by x multiplied by, in the bracket, minus 5 to the power of 2. Okay, now everything divided by, in brackets, minus 2x to the power of 3, and outside the bracket as an exponent we are having 2, right? And let me try to do it this side. Let's try to deal with this one, the numerator. Okay, so we are having minus 4x to the power of 2 multiplied by x multiplied by minus 5 to the power of 2. So when it's like this, remember you have to make sure that you don't have the multiplications in between, and this is how you're going to remove them. So we are having minus 4x to the power of 2 multiplied by x multiplied by that multiplied by that. And the first thing that you can do here is to get rid of the brackets. Now we have 4x squared multiplied by x multiplied by, so it's going to be it's like when you're having brackets and that, it's like 5 and 5, it's 2 times, so that means it's minus 5 multiplied by minus 5, which is positive 25. So we are multiplying this with a 25. Okay, now we can multiply everything together. We have x, we have x, we have the numbers. So now the first thing that you can do is multiply negative 4 with 25. And I think you should get 100 and minus 100. I'm not sure, because 25 is 50 times 2. Yeah. So you should get a minus 100, and then we're going to have x. Because we are multiplying x and x, we're going to just write 1x, and then we're going to add the exponent. So it's going to be 2. Remember, I said if it's just a letter like that, that means it's to the power of 1. Okay? That means the exponent of that letter is 1. The exponent of that number is 1. Okay? Because everything to the power of 1 is the same with whatever that's written down there as the base. And then we have 100x to the power of 2 plus 1. So this is the one I'm referring to, and this is the 2 I'm referring to. Okay, now we are having 100x to the power of minus 100x to the power of 3, and we're going to divide. Now, before we divide, let's try to solve this one on the side, or simplify it. So we have 2x to the power of 3, close bracket, we have 2. Okay, remember when you are having the brackets, I think it's law number 3. Yes, it's law number 3. When you are having something like this, it's the same as multiplied by this, and then again multiplied by this. There's 1 here, I get. So it's like minus 2 to the power of 1 multiplied by x to the power of 3. So when we're having everything in the brackets and there's an exponent on top of the brackets or just outside the brackets, that means the 2 of that exponent is for everything that's inside, whether there's a plus sign in between or whatever. No, I'm lying. So if it's like this, that means the 2 is for this and the 2 is also for this one. But when there's an additional subtraction, then it's gonna take a different turn. Okay, now let's see. Okay, now we have what? We have minus 2x. No. But because I want to get rid of that 2, so it's going to be minus 2 to the power of 2. Let me put it in brackets. Multiplied by x to the power of 3 multiplied by 2. Remember, law 3 says a to the power of m, and n is the same as a to the power of m multiplied by that. That's why here we are multiplying the 3 and 2. That means we are having 2 multiplied by 2, or negative 2 multiplied by 2 is 4, positive 4. And then the x, we're going to have it here. And then the 2 multiplied by 3, or the 3 multiplied by 2 is what? It's 6. Sorry, it's 6. So this is what we are having right here. So now, what we can do here, I just want to refer you to this one over here, this. So you see, here they're saying a to the power of m divided by a to the power of n is equal to, here, is equals to 1 divided by a to the power of n minus m, when m is less than n. So when this one is less than this one, this is how you can write it, if they want the answer in positive form. Okay, so now you can see that 3 is less than 6, which is that one. 3 is less than 6, which is the same as m less than n, when we are referring to that side note they've given us. So now it's gonna be minus 100 divided by 4. How much is it? Minus 100 divided by 4 on your calculator, I think it's going to be minus 25. So it's going to be minus 25 divided by x to the power of 3, or x to the power of 6 minus 3. Are you following? Where's that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, this one. Yeah, so you see it's n minus m. So n minus m, like that one. So our n in this case is this one. So it's 6 minus m, which is 3. So it's 6 minus 3. So the answer here now is going to be minus 25 divided by x to the power of positive 3. And that's how you get to your answer. And okay, see, this is how they got to this answer that you are seeing over there, which is the same as ours. Now, do we have any question? Do we have any question, or are we all good? Okay, I'll take that everybody is good. Okay, let's now look at our D. This is our D here. So for D, we are having minus 2 into brackets, minus 3x close bracket to the power of 2 multiplied by x, y to the power of 2 multiplied by negative 3 squared. And for this one, we can solve this one firstly, to avoid confusing ourselves. So we have minus 2 minus 3 minus that. So the first thing that you can do here is to work out this one firstly, okay? This one, ne? Because we're going to have 2 minus 2 there, and then we're going to have minus 3. Let me try to write this so that it's clear. Okay, so it's going to be minus 2 into minus 3 to the power of 2, x to the power of 2. Close the bracket. Ne? Now we are done. We removed the 2. Now the next thing that we can do is to multiply the 2 with everything inside the bracket. So we're going to have minus 2 multiplied by minus 3 squared, which is what? We can just simply try to simplify the minus 3 squared firstly, and we're going to multiply the 2 with that amount. So it's going to be minus 2 into 3 to the power of that of 2 is 9, because 3 multiplied by 3 is 9, okay? And we have x to the power of 2. So this is basically it. So it's 2 minus 2 multiplied by that is going to be minus 18 minus 18. Okay. Now minus 18 x to the power, because these two cannot multiply each other. The number is multiplying the number, because this one cannot multiply with this, so you're going to have x squared. So that means it's 18 minus 18x squared multiplied by xy squared multiplied by negative 3 squared. Now we can simplify the whole thing. So it's going to be minus 18 multiplied by minus 3 squared. And I said minus 3 squared. What is minus 3 squared? Guys, what is minus 3 squared?
Ma'am, it's negative 9.
Perfect. So the answer is going to be negative 9. And now we're going to say negative 9 multiplied by 18, because we are multiplying the numbers together. So how much is it going to be? The minus 18 multiplied by 9. Minus 18 multiplied by 9. Guys, you must make sure that your calculators are with you. What is minus 18 multiplied by 9? Negative 9, sorry. I'm getting 162, and I'm going to have my x to the power of this and this one. So I'm going to multiply the same basis, and I'm going to add the exponent. So it's 2 plus 1, and we're going to have the y because it doesn't have any 1. So it's going to be positive 162 x to the power of 3. So the y has squared there. Then this is how they got to their 162 x cubed and y squared. Are we all together? Are you all following? Are you all following?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Charlie,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
okay, Refense, I didn't see you. Are you good? Refense, peaceful, Daku, Nontlazeko, and who else? And Toriso. Okay, cool. Now we're gonna get 2 questions where you guys are gonna do this, okay? So I'm gonna pick a name. Let's see, Katleho. Are you able to unmute your mic? Katleho. Okay, we'll jump. Mukundi. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Mukundi, let's have you do wait, what happened? Okay, let's have you do this one. Yeah, A. What are we going to do? Mukundi,
We're gonna times the numerators, ma'am.
what are we going to have? What are we going to have? Busisiwe, what are we going to have? Busisiwe?
Oh, ma'am, would it be 37 to the power 7?
How did you get that?
By adding the exponent.
Which one?
4 and 3.
So you say you are having 37 to the power of 7.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's your final answer.
No.
What's going to be the final answer? Okay, let's look at another person. Busisiwe. Busisiwe, are you able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am. May you please give me a minute?
Okay. Now let's move to Butlali. Butlali, are you there?
Ma'am?
Butlali? Butlali, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here, ma'am.
How are we going to do this one? Okay, let's move to Mishe.
Ma'am? Yes, ma'am.
How are we going to do this? Guys, what you're going to do here, because I said when you multiply the same base, you add the exponent. So because we are having a 37 and a 37, that means we're going to add 4 and 3. Okay, so that means we're going to have 37 to the power of 7 divided by 37 to the power of 5. So it's 37 to the power of 7, which is 4 plus 3. You can keep your mic muted. 37 to the power of 5. Then, which is the same as 37 to the power of 7 divided by 37 to the power of 5. So when you are dividing the same base, use less the exponent. So we're going to apply 2 laws of exponent, okay? The one where you are multiplying the same bases, and then we add the exponent, and when we are dividing the same bases, we then less the exponent. So that means we're going to have 37 to the power of 7 minus 5, okay? Minus 5. And then which is the same as 37 to the power of 2. And they said leave your answer in exponential form. So when they say leave your answer in exponential form, you're just going to leave it like this because the exponent is 2, okay? They're simply saying that you shouldn't then now go to your calculator, punch 37 to the power of 2 and then get 1,369, and then this is going to be now your answer. This is not what they want, okay? They just want you to write that. Okay, let's look at number 2. How are we going to do number 2, guys? Nonhlanzeko, how are we going to do number 2? So number 2, this is the same as y to the power of 9 multiplied by x to the power of 3. And then again, you have what? Y to the power of 17 multiplied by x to the power of 4. So what I'm trying to say is the bases are the same, okay? We have the same bases, 11 and 11, 23 and 23. Those are the same bases. When you are dividing the same base, you less the exponent. You less the exponent, okay? That's what I'm trying to get to you, okay? So now we are having what? We are having 23 to the power of 9 and 23 to the power of 17. So you see now, the 9 is less than 17. So that means we're gonna bring the 23 to the power of 3 down. And the 3 also is less than this one. So that means we can and we will bring the 11 to the power of 3 to the 11 to the power of 4, right? So we're going to have 1 divided by 23 as our base. Now we're going to have what? We're going to have 17. Remember, n minus m, when m is the less than n. Okay, so it's going to be 17 minus 9, and then it's going to multiply with 11, 4 minus 3, which is the same as 1 divided by 23 to the power of, what is 17 minus 9?
8.
Perfect, 8. And then we're going to have 11 to the power of 1, which is the same as just 11, because I said anything to the power of 1 is that very same number. So because the 4 minus 3 is 1, that means the exponent of 11 is going to be 1. And then 11 to the power of 1, you should know that it's 1. And I think we're going to continue with this lesson the next time we meet. So it will be very useful of you to take screenshots of everything that we did here, maybe a screenshot of this part, then we're gonna do the whole thing. Next time when we meet, it's easier for you to do. But before we get into that, the whole of that, do we have anyone who has any question? Any question? Do you have anyone who have a question? Botlhale? Busisiwe, Katleho, Mihlali, Mihle, Mukundi, Nonhlanzeko,
No, ma'am.
No,
Don't
ma'am.
have a question.
Peaceful, Taku, and
No, ma'am.
Tony.
Mister don't have a question.
Okay, I got it, Mihle. Okay, guys, thank you for engaging.